What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another player ratings. I'd like to welcome Joe back onto the stream for the player ratings. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good. Well, a bit disappointed.
Yeah, but... I know. Obviously, we lost 1-0 in the first leg of the last 16 of the Champions League knockout phase to RB Leipzig last night. In a game where I thought that a lot of fans were kind of negative from the start just because Son's out, Kane's out, Sissoko's out. We've got a lot of injury problems, and that showed last night, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for 60 minutes, we weren't the better team. I mean, like, coming into it, the injuries were always going to affect the way we played, but I didn't think it'd be that significant.
Yeah, they completely tore us apart at times yesterday. Yeah. I thought last 20 minutes we came to the party, but it was just, I guess it wasn't too late because it was only 1-0, but the away goal is going to be a telling factor. Yeah,
and I feel like we're going to keep moaning on about this the next few weeks, but without a striker, it's so hard to get that goal when you need it in the most critical moments.
All that is true, but it is only 1-0, so it's still anyone's game.
100%, but I'm thinking just in terms of how we're going to be for the rest of the season. I know it's early on, and you know, like, Son has only just got out, but the way Lucas Moura was literally invisible, we'll get onto it, but it's not looking great.
Well, they're going to have to sort it out some way because we've got so many games of football to play with no strikers. Exactly. So, but anyway, let's get into it. Let's start off with Captain Hugo Lloris, Captain Marvellous. We gave him an 8. Absolutely sensational again from Hugo Lloris. In the first 15 minutes, he pretty much earned his money with 3 brilliant saves. I thought RB Leipzig were literally getting in time and time again with shots from point blank range, and he was equal to them pretty much every time apart from the penalty.
Literally the first minute especially, he was literally perfect. He was on his joggers from the get-go. But the penalty, I couldn't even blame. Like, it was such a good shot, a powerful shot, and you know, he's usually decent. For that one, I can't really blame him.
He dived the right way as well.
Exactly. It was just unfortunate, and it's hard. Even the top keepers at the top of their game, it's hard for them to save that.
Yeah. Which moves us on to Serge Aurier. We gave him a 3. This guy, I don't even know where he was playing last night because he went missing from right back pretty much the whole game. Players had to cover for him pretty much all the time, all out of position, getting terrorised by Timo Werner. What do you make out of it?
Literally, Werner had him on strings the whole game. Wherever he was going, Aurier was just somewhere else. Like, it was frustrating. There was one point where I personally think it looked like it could have been like sort of an elbow to the face, and he just dropped. But I think it was just a dive. He was looking for anything. He was lost. He was lost yesterday.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I felt for Gedson a bit last night as well because he was pretty much playing at right back, covering for Aurier most of the time he was on. Yeah. But yeah, there you have it. Aurier we gave a 3.
Yeah.
Moving on to Davinson Sanchez, we gave him a 7. I thought it was his best performance, definitely of the season, potentially in a Spurs shirt, to be fair. I thought he was a man mountain. I thought he didn't let much get past him. A lot of great challenges, a lot of good headers away. Probably our best defender on the night as well.
100%. That he had a pretty much a goal line clearance, putting his heart on the line throughout the whole game, and he looked really strong at the back. At times, I was sort of certain he was going to make these challenges in it, and he looked so strong, and it's good to see him where he should be.
Yeah, and I think Sanchez, he usually does play well in the big games. Yeah. It's the smaller games where he lacks that concentration sometimes where he gets found out.
I can agree with that.
But let's move on to Toby Alderweireld. We gave him a 6. Not as assured as Davinson Sanchez. I think our main game plan was to go through Toby and hit balls over the top, and obviously that wasn't working. Yeah. But all in all, defensively, Toby did let quite a bit go past him, but it wasn't such a bad performance, was it?
Yeah, no, he was strong at times, but of course the way Leipzig were pressuring, it caused him problems, and it's unfortunate. But luckily we had Sanchez, of course, when he wasn't there to make up for it.
All right, moving on to Ben Davies, we gave him a 4. I felt for Ben Davies a bit because after being out for so long, playing 2 games in such a short space of time, I thought he played really well at Villa Park, but last night I let him down a bit. I felt that penalty was just stupid giveaway. It wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those where it didn't happen on purpose. He went for the ball. It wasn't his intention, but he completely took out the
clumsy,
player,
wasn't it?
And it was so clumsy, and no one could argue with that. 100% penalty, 100%.
Yeah, I just felt maybe Tanganga would have been a better choice. Not even just because I don't like Davies as a player, just because he's been out injured for so long. you can't play 2 games in such a short space of time.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, but maybe you're thinking Mourinho sort of resting him for the Chelsea game, even though he rested him against Villa as well. Because when he's hungry, Tanganga, when he's got that aggression in him and he's fully fit, he's really good, and I think that hopefully that'll pay dividend on the weekend.
Yeah,
so
let's hope so. Bloody hell, we've got the games coming thick and fast, don't we? Let's move on to Harry Winks. We gave him a 6. I felt that Harry, he wasn't great in the first half. I felt the game was passing him by. He was getting overrun a bit in the first half. But second half, he improved a lot. Jose must have had a word in his ear because he was right at it in the second half. And I thought he was probably the most improved player from first half to second half.
Yeah, he was doing what he does best in the second. And like being energetic, you know, winning loads of balls back, trying to just putting his heart on the line, as I always say.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's disappointing the way we started the first half, but at least he sort of realised where he went wrong, and hopefully for the second leg he's worked out how they play and how he can improve.
Let's hope so. Yeah. Moving on to Gedson Fernandes, we gave him a 5. I was undecided about Gedson's performance because I felt that there were some nice moments in there.
Yeah.
I came out of the game thinking that he actually had a good game, but then when I looked it back, there was a lot of misplaced passes out there. But there were some nice moments. I'm quietly confident that Gedson can turn into a good player, but I think he just needs time to progress.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. He showed moments in the game, but overall, I think a 5's a 4 to 5. He didn't do anything that you'd come away thinking, wow, he's got something in his locker. But you know, he'll get there.
And obviously, he got taken off after 64
minutes.
Exactly. Tongi and Dombele.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to Giovani Lo Celso. We gave him an 8. Absolutely sensational play. This guy has it all. He really does. Yeah. The guy is an absolute star in the making. He can take it past anyone. It's really hard to get the ball off him when he's like really on it. I think there was one moment he picked up the ball in our area, dribbled it all the way to their area.
I love it.
And we failed to score, but I think he tried to play it to Stevie B and nothing came out of it. But all in all, Giovani Lo Celso, what a player he is. I think that, you know, this is just the beginning as well. He's only going to get better and better.
100%. I love it, as you were saying, when he makes those runs. When he was coming from Real Betis, you looked at his highlights and you see those moments. You think, can he do that for us? And now he's doing it, and it's so good to see. Obviously, he had a decent game, and then there was that free kick as well.
Yeah,
which was Eriksen-esque, which was nice to see. Obviously, he's his own player, and I don't want to think about Eriksen too much, but it was something that Eriksen would have done. It was this close to going in as well. So
yeah, it was a great save from the keeper. And you're talking about Eriksen-esque, yeah. The problem we had with Eriksen was he always kept hitting the first man from corners. Now with Lo Celso, he keeps overhitting the corners and it doesn't hit any men.
It's frustrating. it's one of those, but we move.
All right, moving on to Dele Alli, we gave him a 4.
Yeah.
Very frustrating day for Dele Alli. I think he did run his socks off. He was literally, I think he ran the most out of the whole team, but with little quality at the end of any of his runs. He got taken off as well on the 64th minute mark, and you could see he was visibly angry, chucking his boots around, and that was mainly to do with his performance rather than him being subbed.
Yeah, I think, as you were saying, the fact that he was running around and giving it his all is the reason he was angry, because he knows in his head it wasn't his best performance. And it's good to see the passion, but I think it's gets that sort of negative energy towards the squad now, because the press and everyone's going to be focused on Dele Alli, and it just brings more negativity. So I don't think he should have sort of behaved like that, but I understand if that's the reason he was angry, that it wasn't his best performance, and exactly, yeah.
For me, I have no problem with him reacting like that.
Fair enough,
I actually think he should be reacting like that after putting
passion,
in a performance like that. You know what I mean? You should be upset with the way you play.
It's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just shows passion for the team, I think. At least he cares.
Yeah, that's
Moving on to Stevie B, we gave him a 5. It was very, very hard for Stevie. I think he was feeding off scraps pretty much the whole game. He had a chance to score a nice effort in the first half, but apart from that, he was literally just feeding off scraps, trying to hustle and bustle, getting on the end of long balls and stuff. But it was very difficult for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was sort of frustrating because I feel like a lot of the opportunities he had, he just shot, but that was just, he could have done other stuff. Like he shot because he just wanted to sort of get rid of the ball, and it was like the shots he was having weren't really going to change the game. Like, they weren't going to go in. It was from awkward angles.
Yeah.
And other than the one chance he had, which was decent, yeah, he didn't do much that could have changed the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was just a very frustrating evening for our strike force because we don't have a strike force.
No, that's true.
But anyway, last but not least, Lucas Moura. We gave him a 5. Again, it's the same performance every week from Lucas Moura. You know, you've got to feel for him because he's up there on his own pretty much.
Yeah.
He's hustling and bustling. He's putting in so much effort, running for the team, chasing the balls down, but with little end product, just because, you know, he's just got no one to feed off.
Yeah, he's not a striker, and it proved yesterday. He had a good header, but other than that, he was lost. And you can just tell it's not where he plays. He wasn't making, you know, the great opportunities or anything that he sometimes does from the right wing. So it's disappointing. And back to the strike conversation, it's going to be a problem going forward.
Yeah, and you can see he's not a striker, especially not a target man, because, you know,
exactly.
that ball comes in. Yes, he should have been doing better with that header. It was his only chance the whole game. But you know if that comes to Kane, it's going in.
100%. That's Kane's bread and butter.
Exactly, and that's what we need. That's what we're missing desperately in this team at the moment.
Yeah.
Moving on to Jose Mourinho, he set up the team obviously very defensively. I don't think we had any other options, did we? The only things I would say, I would maybe have preferred Tongi to start, but obviously he's just not fit enough to start. So I can't really mark Jose down too much for this one.
Yeah, no, agreed. I think he said post-match it was like having a gun with no bullets or something. And he also said how that was one of the only teams he could have picked. So at the moment, it's going to be looking like a similar starting 11 most games, and that's unfortunate for Jose. But yeah, it's.
Well for the weekend.
Yeah. really well.
Lamela come on for Dele Alli. I thought he provides some really positive impetus into the play. I thought he was very good and energetic when he come on. What did you make of
Lamela? He was the last sort of 20 minutes. He was the best player on the pitch when he came on. He looked so energetic. We looked like we could have got a goal, and as you say, I think there was a corner or something in the dying minutes, and it just went well over from Lo Celso. Which is frustrating. So, was it Lo Celso? Yeah, I think it could have been.
Of course, it was Lo Celso.
Yeah.
He doesn't hit the first man. He just doesn't hit any men.
Yeah.
Lamela as well had a nice free kick.
Yeah.
That forced a save out the keeper. Then obviously Tongi and Ndombele come on the 64th minute for Gedson. He showed some sparks of brilliance in Ndombele, but ultimately not really much. Really.
Yeah. I think he was good, but it's just not enough time across the whole match, whether he plays on the weekend or the second leg. I want to see more of him now because he keeps coming on as a substitute, and it's frustrating. I just want to see him for a whole game, see how he can, you know, fully impact the game.
He's not fit enough.
It's frustrating.
But anyway, there you have it. That's our player ratings. Like, subscribe, and comment below and tell me what you think of our ratings. And as always, come on you Spurs.